Yo,
Hey, what's up, man?
not much. Not much. Yeah, like I said, I just got up, so you can clearly hear it in my voice.
Yeah, so you were watching Thunderbolts last night.
Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four.
Oh my, that's fantastic. I actually did
I,
watch.
I wouldn't necessarily say I wouldn't necessarily say last night, more like early this morning.
Okay.
I was up like a few hours ago. What time is it? It's 11:36 my time. I was up around 6 or 7.
Jeez.
I passed out and probably just woke up on instinct too.
Oh yeah.
So
But
yeah.
I was up until 1. I can't do stay up until 5 or 6 in the morning anymore. I used to. Back in my days, but shit, around like 10 or 11, I started to get sleepy. I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm old as fuck. Um, but yeah, actually did watch Fantastic Four last night as well, and I don't know. My feelings about the movie don't really change. They kind of stay the same. Of like, yeah, I liked it. I didn't love it.
Still could have been more. There still could have been more there.
Right. I mean,
Like I
there's
feel like the movie to me, and I said this in the review, it lacked action. There should have been more action. I know what they were going for. They were going for the emotional story, and that's the more I saw it, the more I appreciated that aspect more. But I would have killed for more action. I think it's the Fantastic Four. It's your first showing in Marvel. I think they should have had, as much as they wanted to have emotional stakes, they should have had physical stakes as well.
no, you're right. I think everybody kind of said the same shit. Um,
Yeah. I mean, and that's the only strike. That's the only strike for me. Like, I feel like there should have been more physical action and more physical stakes. I feel like we didn't get it much of that. And they did cut a lot of villains. Remember, they cut my man was John Malkovich. They cut him from the movie.
oh, they made a big deal about him, and they cut him, which I'm like, shit. Of all things,
Yeah.
you cut John Malkovich. So,
Yeah.
but
Which I thought it was strange, unless they really want to use him for one of the things I guess we could talk about too. Spider-Man 4. Unless they really want him to use for that.
But I don't know. I think the movie has some good human moments, but like, you know, the funniest line in the movie is from Mole Man when he goes, make sure you wipe your feet off. I'm just kidding. The whole floor is made of. I don't think that was funny, even though I think Paul Walter Hauser's a fucking douchebag. But that's just me.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. I
Yeah.
hope he's not at that show next week. I hope he's not there.
Which show?
Because I know he's been doing a lot of work for MLW lately, and I just hope he's not there. I don't want to see him or Paul London, so I hope they're not on the show.
You don't like Pumpkin?
No, I don't like their feud. They're feuding now. I don't want to see that.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Paul. I've always been a Paul London fan. I kind of have I guess, a soft spot for him, even though
Yeah, I like Paul London.
he's kind of one of those guys that falls into that bitterness category of like, "Ugh, everyone was mean to me," and I'm like, okay, like it was like 20 years
Yeah.
ago, dude. You gotta move past it already. But I don't know. I like
You gotta get past the meanness.
CM
know,
Punk was
you-
CM Punk was a dick to me 20 years ago. I'm like, okay, I don't know what you want me to say.
What about
bro.
what about now? What about now?
I heard that he's still the same. I'm like, okay, what proof do you have? I have sources and friends that still work there. I'm like, okay, I don't know what you want me to say
Yeah.
about that, bro. But all right, yeah, we do have some things to talk about that we talked about over the phone or through text. I mean, um, yeah, I mean, again, I also let you know, like, if you want to bring any news or some surprise things from me, I'm always down for it. Um, but we're just gonna talk about the slate of MCU and DCU next year, which there's a lot to talk about. And like I said, any news that you have, I'm down for it. don't really have any news other than just like two things, and one of them's a nice story. The other one's more just like a teaser that is possibly coming out during the filming of another
Yeah.
movie. But what do you want to start with first?
Whatever you got. Let's go. Whatever you got.
That's
Somebody got
fine.
like really small stuff to add. I guess we could sprinkle in between the middle.
Let's start with the small stuff and then let's do the big stuff.
All right. Well, I've caught up with some of the Spider-Man '94 comic.
Hmm.
Morgan's cousin Mari has a lot. She has all, I think, what, 3 of the issues that came out so far, and I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. If it was a cartoon show, I don't think it would go over so well. And the only reason why I say this is because they haven't used anybody big up until the last issue. They've been using Moreland and Kane
Mm-hmm.
and Ezekiel Sims as like the main like 3, I guess, antagonist. Because I can't really call Kane and Ezekiel Sims necessarily villains in the situation, but Moreland, yes, because he's literally devouring. So, including poor vermin. So, yeah, that's pretty much what's going on right now. Kane, of course, is a clone of Peter Parker, from the comic books. So, for those who don't know, and that part definitely got revealed in the last issue because he was, every time he was around Peter and Mary Jane, he was feeling weird, and yeah, that finally got revealed. So that's going on, and Peter got attacked by this weird beast creature thingy, Majigger Bobber, at the last issue, and Kraven the Hunter shows up, dressed in the whole 90s garb that he had in the cartoon, and Peter was confused at first as why he was attacking him, but he was attacking the beast.
Hmm.
Well, the issue left off with us thinking that Kraven the Hunter was attacking Peter, but he's really going after the beast. Because if you remember, the show ended between the two, but Kraven the Hunter was helping Morbius and Black Cat hunt down vampires or some shit like that. Oh, was it? Was it him, or I think it was him, wasn't it? That was hunting down vampires or something like that on the United Kingdom coast, trying to get a cure for Michael Morbius or something like that. Something like that, where he went away with one of Peter's other allies, and like they were like really cool when they left off. Him and Mariah Crawford, they took a left. But yeah, so I guess they was trying to tease that he was going back villainous again, but he definitely went after the beast. So I guess we're gonna figure that out in the next issue. But yeah, so far, nice if you're a Moreland fan and a Kane fan, but if you're not, you ain't gonna get it.
All right. So you don't think this could be on par with X-Men 97?
If they put this on television, no.
Or like on streaming service or whatever.
If they put it on streaming service, I don't think it's gonna get the attention with the story they're telling right now, and obviously at the comic book's pace.
Right.
I don't think it's gonna jump right at people right away.
Right.
They gotta put more mainstream characters in this joint. I mean, us hardcore, like us, we would like it and we would get it because we're fans of the characters. Well, some of us are. I'm not gonna say everybody, but some of us know who Moreland is and Kane and Ezekiel Sims. We know who some of those characters are.
Right.
But if somebody who grew up on the 90s cartoon and only just that alone goes into this thinking they're gonna see the Kingpin and how things were back then, they're gonna be disappointed,
I mean, I think with Spider-Man, it's always going to sell because just based on the name alone. I do think that when you're trying to cater more to the hardcore fans as opposed to trying to bring everyone in, that's where you can count people. It's kind of like with wrestling. With AEW, where they cater to the lowest common denominator of people that watch NJPW and CMLL or whatnot, instead of trying to cater to everybody. and
Yeah.
that's where you use people with like IPs, with stuff like comic books or video games, where like with video game movies or TV shows, whenever you're trying to be like, hey, we're gonna bring in this really niche character from this very niche storyline that only a niche group of people, will understand, and nobody else is gonna get it but them, and they have to figure it out on their own instead of trying to bring everyone in and bring your viewership up. Um, because I know the Sonic movies, they were starting to do that, where in the beginning they were bringing you know casual fans in, and then the third movie, which I like the third movie, is they were trying to be more specific, with their hardcore fans, and I think that's where might end up you might end up losing people. You know what I mean? So again, I haven't read
Mhm.
the comics, so I can't really speak on it. I'm only going by what you just said, but
Yeah,
yeah,
no, it's perfectly constructed because Marlon is going after. He needs to absorb people, so to speak, in order to survive. So that's his whole thing. And he put an ass whipping on Spider-Man like he wouldn't believe in the issue from last month. He whipped his ass. I mean, you remember in the cartoon they weren't allowed to throw punches necessarily. Remember?
oh yeah, hmm
But not. But in the comic book, oh my god, he whipped his ass. He gave Spider-Man the beating of a lifetime. So
well, that's the beauty of
that was so.
streaming, because you can be more risky and tell better stories, because that's what they do with X-Men '97. Because
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
in the beginning it seemed like they were catering to the younger audience, and then once you got to that, was it Genosha episode? Oof,
Oh, oh yeah.
like it's like god damn, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They
The
did
Gambit
this.
stuff, oh, forget it.
Yeah, my boy went out like a G. They did the same thing with the Batman show, the Cape Crusader, where it wasn't like a straight up homage to the '90s show, but it was like, I guess in some ways a love letter to it, but it was its own thing. But it was much more violent, much more
Oh, you talking
adult,
about this?
much more
Oh, you talking
edgy.
about this? You talking about this? You talking about the show they did last year, last summer?
Yeah, on Prime.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
That was
With the
that.
penguin, with the female penguin.
Yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
the thick penguin with the curves. I'm like, yep.
Oh yeah, that freaking that beak. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Pretty sure you love that shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I want people to dress up like her for Halloween.
But yeah. I mean, I think Spider-Man's always gonna get it's always gonna get attention because it's just the brand alone. But um, yeah, sounds interesting. But what else you got?
Um, I'm trying to recount my thoughts because I know that was one thing I wanted to bring up. Um, I'm slipping on the second one, so I guess we can just go ahead until I remember. But
All
yeah, I
right.
definitely wanted to touch upon Spider-Man '94 because we haven't really talked about it all that much. So I definitely
Okay.
wanted to touch on that.
One I have is the teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday, allegedly, is going to premiere during the showing of Avatar Fire and Water. And,
Okay.
I guess old school. They're kind of going the old school route of, instead of just releasing it on the internet, they're going to be like, oh, if you want to watch it, you got to go see this movie. Which I guess works, because Doomsday and Secret Wars are worrying me a little bit. And it's like they were announcing that they didn't even finish a script and they're filming the movie the whole time. So I'm like, how is that
Yeah.
possible? All the while you look at DC and James Gunn, it was like, I literally don't greenlight anything until a script is finished. And if I like it, I greenlight it. If I don't greenlight it. So,
Yeah. Which is the
um,
way to be.
yeah, I mean that's the way you should do it with every movie. Like Marvel,
Yeah.
Marvel is they're kind of getting back to where they used to be, with better storytelling and taking a little bit more risks with shit. Um,
Yeah.
but it's going to be a long hill battle, because they need to get everyone back on board. The fans mainly.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but
They need to have more quality over quality or
quality over
quantity.
quantity.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, the teaser is gonna come out. The movie's already finished, and I'm assuming they're maybe gonna do some more reshoots, which they usually do for most Marvel movies. Um,
I
and
think
I,
I think that hurts the movies too, man. Too much picking with it, you know.
I agree, and I don't. And where I say I don't is mainly because like they do a lot of principal photography reshoots, mainly because a they want to touch up on some things, and also to bring people that they originally couldn't bring in during the original filming. So reshoots aren't a problem. I mean, if it's not to the extent of like Brave New World where they pretty much redid the whole movie. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Which when you if you look at the original concept for that, it wasn't bad. Why did they fuck with it?
yeah, like
Why did they fuck with that?
it was intriguing.
Diamondback Diamondback was supposed to be a villain. Seth Rollins was supposed to be a villain. You still, I mean, you could have had if you wanted Giancarlo to be the bad guy, you could have had him just be the leader of the whole fucking Serpent Society and kept it rolling from there.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you see some of the concept art for some of the Serpent Society, but they was looking pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie, they're looking
Yeah,
pretty sick.
it sounded more like a movie for Sam because the movie we got just felt like a sequel to Incredible Hulk. It didn't feel like Sam's movie.
Exactly.
You know what I
You
mean?
know.
And he deserved better. But
Yeah, he did. He absolutely did.
but yeah, so that's a thing allegedly. So if you want to watch the teaser trailer, which I imagine we're gonna get, I don't think we're gonna get a Downey reveal. I kind of hope we don't. I'd rather it just be like a voice because with Doom, if they really want, I mean, because it's the Avengers, so I think the Avengers are they're gonna make their money back, and they're probably gonna make $1 billion more than likely. But like, I think with Downey as Doom, you don't show anything, you don't reveal anything until the actual movie. You can show him, in his cloak. You can show him maybe a little bit in the mask, and maybe reveal his voice, but like, don't show him at all. And they kind of revealed him at one of those Disney Expo things where what the artwork's gonna look like, and it looks good. Like it looks pretty cool. It looks like Doctor Doom. It doesn't look like Iron Man Doom. It looks like Doctor Doom. Um,
Yeah,
so I mean, and I've said before, like I'm not crazy about Downey being Doom,
me
um,
neither.
because it again, I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. As much as I love Marvel, I'm just being honest. It reeks of desperation because this is at a time when they weren't doing that well. And they're doing well now. They're getting back to it, but like bringing back stars and bringing back the Russo brothers and bringing back other people like Chris Evans, allegedly, which more than likely he will be in it. It kind of reeks of desperation to me, in my opinion. But
It does.
but with Downey as Doom, it's like I'm intrigued because if he can bring that same energy that he brought from winning an Oscar for Oppenheimer, and also, and I said this before, and I mean it, Tropic Thunder, where like you don't see Tony Stark, you don't see Iron Man, you see the character he's playing. If he can bring that, which I think he can, and I think the Russos can, like he can probably knock it out of the park, and we'll probably be, eating crow by this time. But like again, I'm cautiously optimistic, when it comes to
Yeah,
this movie and him as Doom. Other news, and this is kind of sad news. It's sad because the person is no longer here with us, but it's happy because he gets that recognition that he deserved. A South Carolina native, Chadwick Boseman, will be
hmm
getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame next week. Um, 5 years after his death, uh, Boseman, who died at the age of 43 in 2020 of stage 4 colon cancer that he had been hiding for 4 years. Um, 4 years of doing a Black Panther movie, Civil War, 2 Avengers films, and got nominated for an Oscar for a movie. What do you call it? Post. I forgot how you pronounce it, but like a posthumous Oscar nomination for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and yeah, he'll be getting a Hollywood Star Walk of Fame, which good for him. Obviously, we're happy. Sucks. Still sucks that he's gone. Because I still think he was getting his career started. Um, and he was only really scratching the surface of who Black Panther was. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because if anyone reads comics, Black Panther is kind of a bad motherfucker. Like
Oh, he is. He
that
is.
dude's fucking nuts. I mean, I won't say nuts, but like, you know, we're talking about Secret Wars. In Secret Wars, he actually holds the Infinity Gauntlet, and I believe he actually beats Doom, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Um, and he took down the Fantastic Four, like the entire Fantastic Four in his debut. He didn't kill him; he just took them all down one by one. So,
Of course. They're all about their powers, and he's all about scrapping.
right.
Let's get it, Sean. He was ready.
But how would you, like, when you looked at Chad's body of work, and for a short while of time, that he was here, like, how do you look at his legacy, that the legacy that he left behind?
Uh, well, I mean, he played a baseball player. He played a rock and roll soul man. I mean, for those two movies alone, that should definitely get him in there because it's not like he did those two men injustice. He didn't do those two guys bad at all. In fact, there's a lot of people who love those movies. And then everything else he's been in, you've heard nothing but good things about. And of course, for us Marvel fans, we loved him as Black Panther. He did a great job as Black Panther. So I think when you put together some of his body of work, if not all of it, he's done more good than he's done bad movies. I'll put it to you that way. I personally haven't seen him in anything trash. So I think it's well deserved. And I don't think it's one of those cases, because he's dead. Because I think a lot of people have revisionist history when somebody dies. They start talking about how great they were when they don't really have that much marks by the name. All of a sudden they're bigger than they were because they passed away.
Right.
I don't think that's the case here. I think that he earns that star, and he earned his keep. So I definitely think it's well deserved, and yeah, it's much needed. It's much needed because, like I said, once again, he did more great quality work than he did bad work.
Agreed.
I mean, you could probably point me to a bad Chadwick Boseman movie. Maybe you could, because admittedly, so I don't watch everything. But the movies I've seen him in, not bad, not bad at all. So
I mean, the only one I can think of is Gods of Egypt, but I don't know if I would blame him solely for that movie.
I think there's plenty of blame to go around for that shit fest, but
which surprisingly, that's where he got looked at to play Black Panther.
So, I mean, he had to impress somebody in order to get that. Because I mean, if he did so bad, then people, wouldn't have given him any type of work.
Because the story was that there's a security guard who was on set that I guess he had heard about Chadwick having talks with Marvel about playing Black Panther, and he actually left a Black Panther comic in his dressing room. And then
Mm-hmm.
not too long after that guy actually became Chadwick's security guard. So they had a personal bond. It's funny because I say funny, but not really. But Chadwick, it's kind of like Heath Ledger, in a way where those guys are taken away from us way too soon before we really got a chance to see what they're made of. Heath was a little younger than Chad. I think he was actually 28 when he died.
Yeah.
And he was already doing stuff like 10 Things I Hate About You, and also Monsters Ball and Brokeback Mountain, and then he was the Joker in The Dark Knight, which, whether you want to call that a comic book film or not, and be like, it's not cinema, it's like, first of all, suck my balls, for one thing. A lot of people, there's a younger generation of people and also an older generation of people that look at that film and go, it's not a good comic book film, it's a great film. It's what's considered cinema, because outside looking in, It doesn't look like a comic book film. It doesn't even look like a Batman film. It looks like a film about the mob. It looks like a gritty crime drama. And
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan is so great at realism, and having these big budgets for these films while at the same time not relying solely on CGI. And
Yeah.
there's been people that say that Heath's performance is like close to Marlon Brando in The Godfather. And that's like
Yeah.
it's a pretty good company to be in because he played it so well. And when you look back on it, he wasn't even in the film that long. He was in the film for maybe like 20 something minutes. And
Yeah, I mean he was sprinkled in there, like, but he didn't have any long particular scenes doing some 20-minute dialogues every time he was on. Because I reckon I watched it not too long ago myself, and I realized the same thing, that he wasn't on screen for a long period of time. It was like, boom, he did this, he was in and out, he did this again, in and out. They didn't even show him kidnap people or do things to people necessarily. So, like, I mean, but when something bad happened, you're like, oh shit, the Joker struck again, and that was it. That little stupid theme music used to play, da-dum, 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 da-dum. And you're like, oh shit, the Joker did something. What do you do now? And the fucking man is hanging the Batman costume against the window.
Are you the judges? Batman?
Or the judge's house blew up, or car blow up, whatever.
Dude, okay, so there was one time when I was watching, and I've seen the movie like so many times, and I know the movie like the back of my hand. I know every line, I know every scene. But there was one time I'm watching, and like I'm having a conversation with Betty at the same time, and it's that scene where he's torturing the guy dressed as Batman, and I guess I was caught off guard, and I was focusing on the conversation. All of a sudden I hear, "Look at me. Look at me.
Look at me."
And that freaked me out. Fuck. Okay, I'm looking at you.
That does get me every time too. I'm not gonna lie. Look at me.
Oh man, Heath was so goddamn good, and it's one of those things of like when it comes to actors, I try not to get sucked in too much, but I'm like, man, I miss Heath. Like that was a performance, and obviously I miss Chadwick because that was such a good performance. Because Chadwick was just cool. Like he had like this cool factor about him where he didn't always have to be over the top and stereotypical. Because like the story involving him and Michael B. Jordan, where like they became friends later in life, but like he was on one of those like soap opera shows, I think like One Life to Live or something like that, and he left the show because they wanted to make his character more stereotypical and quote unquote urban. White people like to use that word, urban. And he ended up leaving the show because he's like, I'm not doing these roles. Like, I want to play a black character in a more positive and more unique, as opposed to always going the stereotypical route. And so he left the show, and then they brought in they replaced him with Michael B. Jordan. So
he was on All My Children.
All My Children, there you go. That's one of those. But yeah, he's always, any role you've seen him in, he's always played like the coolest, most interesting guy in the room. His Black Panther, like, I don't mean this as any disrespect. The first Black Panther, I felt as though everyone around him was more interesting than him. Because like I said before, like he was still finding his netting in that role. If he were around, for that second one, because the second one, what we got in Wakanda Forever was essentially what we would have had with Chadwick, because the idea was always Namor, but the character's arc would have been much different than Shuri's, whereas Shuri was about living to that legacy, left by her brother. Whereas T'Challa's arc would have been more about, losing time because he lost 5 years of the blip and he never got to be around his family. He never got to be around his son more. So this is more about, the loss of time. But I just, it's one of those things of just like, what if, a career lost too soon, like what we could have gotten in Wakanda Forever, what we could have gotten in other movies. So for selfish reasons, I think about that because it's just like, He was so good in that role, so good in that role.
Yeah, so cool and composed.
Right. But yeah, that's all the news I got. There was one more thing I wanted to run by you. It was more just like I guess almost like a game, or just like things that came up. Was there anything else you want to bring up?
Uh, I'm trying to think on what I was blanking on earlier, and I just can't at the moment. So,
All right. I can actually splice this in with our DC talk, so I'll save that for later. But you want to get started with what do you want to start with, DC or Marvel?
uh, let's go ahead and continue the Marvel talk. So we're talking about Chadwick. Let's go
All
ahead and
right,
blend that John in.
that Joan. So yeah, so next year, um, Marvel is going to start downsizing, which is good. We've kind of been saying that for a while, is that they need to downsize things. Having like 3 or 4 movies come out a year, it's like, Jesus Christ, like, slow down. We don't want that much shit. So yeah, next year there's only gonna be 2 movies and a few TV shows. So, do you want to start with the movies or the TV shows?
Let's start with the.
I'm sorry, what?
Let's just start with the TV shows.
All right, let me go to the TV shows real quick. All right, so Marvel Studios shows. So we got in 2026, we got Wonder Man, which was originally supposed to come out in December.
Next month.
Yeah, but they moved it to January simply because they didn't want it to get lost in the shuffle. And I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. I don't think anyone's really that hyped for the show. So if you put it in December when there's a bunch of other shit coming out, it will definitely get lost in the shuffle. So putting it in January makes sense, because January is also one of those months that I don't really think a lot of people go see things, and things usually don't do that well in January. But hopefully this can be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man thing where it ends up getting received well a lot better. But Wonder Man, which you and me never really got a chance to talk too much about one. So, Wonder Man is, again, very much a niche character. Like that's like pulling from like the archives of Marvel. The only thing I know about this character is that he's kind of OP in the comics. I know he's an actor that becomes a superhero, and he has a thing with Scarlet Witch. That's kind of the only thing I know about him. So I'm walking into this kind of blind, and the cast. You got Yahya Abdul Mateen II, who has a history with comic book property. He was Black Manta in the Aquaman movies, so now he's in Marvel. So again, somebody else who walked both worlds. So hopefully this can kind of be his role that he kind of carries on with him. Yeah, Ben Kingsley returning as Trevor Slattery, the fake Mandarin from Iron Man 3, and then he was also in Shang-Chi. So good to see Sir Ben Kingsley. It's always good to see him.
Trevor.
And then Eric Williams, who was on a show called Banshee. He's going to play Grim Reaper. So cool. Oh no, his name is Demetrius Gross. The character he's playing is Eric Williams, the Grim Reaper. So my bad. Allegedly, Ed Harris was supposed to play his agent, but I don't think that's the case anymore.
Ed Harris got cut?
I heard he was cast, but then they're saying he's not going to be in it. I don't know. Like I'm looking at Wikipedia, and Wikipedia is not always, legit, but it's saying he's supposed to play his agent. Other characters like Joe Pantoliano, great actor, he's going to be in it. Josh Gad, Simon Templeton, and Lauren Glazer. So, cast so far. Yeah, so the trailer for it came out, and it is basically treating it almost like a meta show, where the character of Wonder Man existed in Marvel, but as a superhero movie, not an actual superhero. And so the creator of the movie, who was actually in Superman, he played the leader of that country in Superman, where he's like, You're very dainty. Superman wouldn't do that. I'm not Superman. Um,
The man with
he,
the wacky hair.
yeah, his name is Zlato Buric. He's playing the director of the original Wonder Man. He's rebooting it. You know, being that the superhero craze in the MCU. He wants to capitalize on it. So Simon Williams, who's an actor who grew up loving the original Wonder Man movie, which, from the way it sounds like a very niche movie for a very niche character. He
Yeah.
auditions and obviously he ends up getting the role. Trevor Slattery is basically playing the buddy, who also auditions for
Yeah.
the role, but he's basically playing the buddy, for the role. Um, Again, not much is revealed. They're not going to reveal him in the suit, which is good. Obviously, you want to make it feel earned. You don't just give everything away. I believe they're releasing all episodes at once, which makes sense
Yeah.
because this. Right. I
Yeah,
mean,
I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea. Go ahead and just release it all at once. I don't think there's going to be too much suspense with this. I mean, this is a very niche comic book character, so nobody's gonna be hanging on to the edge of the seat like we were with Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and X-Men '97. So just go ahead and just drop it all at once and let people make their essence and let people take for it for what it was or what it is rather, and just keep it rolling. Just no need to just hold it and try to drop it all and try to hang us up with suspense. I don't think it's gonna work.
each episode is said to be at least 30 minutes long, which I think is the better call. But yeah, Wonder Man. Again, I have no dog in this fight because I know shit about the character, but I'm gonna watch.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you feel about Wonder Man? Like, what was your opinion on the trailer and just the series itself?
I got none. That I got none. I'm like you. I got no dog in the fight because I'm not a. I'd be lying to you if I said that I read a Wonder Man comic book or seen any other Wonder Man media a day in my life. I'd be lying to you. And that's one thing I don't want to do. I don't want to lie to you, and I don't want to lie to to the audience. What point does that make? You on here just yapping about stuff you don't know about, but I think I know a lot of people are upset that he's not white,
Yeah, I mean,
so to
I
speak.
don't
But
care personally.
I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. I mean, people are going to make their recast or, their skin color washing, whatever you want to call it. They're going to do what they have to do. But when you have an actor like, yeah, you got to do what you got to do at the end of the day. At the end of the day, blah, blah.
Right. I mean, like I said, through text, with you, which is just like it's a very niche character, so you can get away with changing, like it doesn't really. I don't think anyone's really gonna be that bothered by it. Um,
Yeah,
if it's like we're gonna make Iron Man black, we're gonna make Captain America black, which it did, but it's like okay, if you're gonna do that, he needs to be a different character though, and they did that with
yeah.
Captain America, where they made Wilson. He
Spider Man's gonna be black. Why? We already have one. Peter Parker shouldn't be black. Yeah, I mean, you got Miles Morales. Like,
exactly.
so
And
I
he's
mean,
just as popular as Peter. So,
yeah, he really is.
in the movie ended up winning a fucking Oscar, and it got nominated for another Oscar for the second movie. So, um, but yeah, I just again, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I mean, I think that's our thoughts collectively of like, cool,
Yeah,
we'll watch it.
I have no real big investment, but I will watch it when it comes out. So, I mean, that's pretty much where it begins and ends there, and we will have our review whenever we get a chance to get to it and watch it. And so,
Yes, sir. March 2026, Daredevil Born Again, season 2.
uh-oh, uh-oh.
And they already announced Daredevil Born Again season 3, which will be in March 2027. So March belongs to the devil, Hell's Kitchen.
Well, you bet your ass it does.
Pretty much everyone else is coming back. Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, our girl from Park Slope, Deborah Ann Wall, Wilson Bethel as a why am I blanking on the fucking name?
Bullseye.
Bullseye, huh?
I don't miss.
Tony Dalton, Kristen Ritter will return as Jessica Jones. Possible that maybe even some other Netflix Marvel characters could return. You never know. But there's some other actors that are on the show that I am not seeing on this list. Give me 1 second.
Mr. Nelson's coming back.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe not. But yeah, he'll be back.
No, said he's coming back. Now, I mean, it could be flashback scenes. To be. It doesn't mean he's coming back to the present day story, but he's gonna be in it.
No, he's coming back. Like they're bringing back Foggy. There really is no.
And the Foggy character does come back in the comic books because they fake his death to get away from somebody that wanted to put out a hit on him. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's because I thought it was going to be a fake out too, but I thought the fake out was going to play out into the season. And Morgan and Mari did tell me that there is a comic book issue where Daredevil and them had to fake out his death once upon a time, and then he came back. So I wonder if it's a situation here where they actually knew that Bullseye had to hit him, or Kingpin's wife had to hit out on him, and they just acted accordingly, and blah, 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 blah. He comes back. So, I mean, that could be the case, too. So, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what they do.
Yeah, like I mentioned, Jessica Jones back as... Kristen Ritter back as Jessica Jones, which I'm happy because I like Jessica Jones. I like the first season a little better. The second season was kind of weird with the mom and everything. And
the mom, Trish, and...
Yeah, the third season's a little better. But again, there's a possibility that other characters could return. Luke Cage, I think, is 100% coming back, and that's going to be a surprise. Mike Coulter.
Yeah, he's not saying anything at all.
No. Sweet Christmas.
I think Finn Jones might be the odd man out.
I think he'll come back. You know what?
You think so?
I'm an Iron Fist apologist because I didn't. Go ahead.
A lot of people really hated that show, man, and a lot of people really hated him in that role.
I didn't hate. You know what? Like, the first season wasn't that bad. I just thought it was very generic because when you look at those Netflix shows, they all had something to say.
So they had spice. They had spice right out of the gate. He didn't have that. It was a very by numbers, like you said, generic story, and it just didn't really jump at you like Luke Cage jumped at you with fucking Cottonmouth and fucking Luke Cage's rivalry. Like that popped off, and what happened to Pop, and like things happened. It was explosive from every episode. You couldn't look away. Same thing with Daredevil. Kingpin's doing this. Kingpin's doing that. Matt's trying to combat it. Night Nurse. She got all these other elements, man, coming in, and Jessica Jones, same thing, trying to fight oppression from Purple Man. This, and this. There's things going on each episode that led to another. You couldn't miss a moment. But Iron Fist was just chill as hell, man. It just didn't have the spice and the, that okay, man, that must-see TV feel like the rest of them did, Well, even with the Punisher, Jesus Christ, you can't miss a moment.
Well, like, also, it's just the overall themes of those shows because, Daredevil was about fighting for justice against injustice. The Punisher was with PTSD. Jessica Jones was about PTSD and rape. They brought the word rape in a Marvel show. Luke Cage was about fighting against police brutality. Against young black men. When you thought about what the overall theme of Iron Fist was, like, what was it? A billionaire crashes into the Alps and learns karate? And also, they fixed Iron Fist in one episode of Luke Cage. He came out on an episode of Luke Cage, and with different writing, they fixed everything that was wrong about him in one episode. They actually made him more interesting and funny and cool. And then the next season was actually like 1,000 times better than the first one. I think it was like the first time where the first season of a show was like universally hated, and then the second season ends up being like 1,000 times better. So I don't know. I'm an Iron Fist apologist, um, partially because Colleen Wing, oof, and Misty Knight, mm. But I don't know. I think Finn Jones will be back. Personally, I mean, I think this could be his way of like redeeming himself in the role, kind of like with you look at Deadpool Wolverine. For Garner got to redeem herself as Elektra, and at age like in her 40s, she's out there like doing her own stunt. I'm like, God damn, that's impressive, But I don't know. I think Finn can be back. I think they should give him another chance. Maybe not another series, but like give him a chance and just have him appear on other shows.
They're gonna have to partner him up with Luke Cage or something. Oh, yeah. I don't see him on his own rocking a solo. Oh, no. I think the solo show days with him is done if they do bring that dude back. But my thing is, nobody's clamoring for him to come back, though. Not like they are with Christian Ritter, which, I mean, we got our wish. Not like Mike Coulter, which, I mean, I guess the jury's still out on that, but he's being suspiciously quiet. Never seen Mike Coulter in anything in a while, either.
Well, he's on that show called Evil, I think, which is on CBS. I heard good things.
Haven't heard of it.
I don't. It's basically CBS's version of Supernatural.
Okay.
Where,
all right. Well,
I mean, I heard good things, and it's still on. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, but
all right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to see. I mean, his profile is probably getting raised by being on weekly television, network television every week. So, I mean, that can only raise his stock in his profile. So when he does come back, if he comes back, that's a big deal. So.
All right. But that's Daredevil. So it looks like we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's funny because like they did that this year where the first season was already premiering and they're already filming season 2. So it looks like they're going to be filming season 3 by the time season 2 comes out. So.
Well, that tells me they have a plan.
Yeah.
That tells me they have a plan and they're going to stick to it.
Which I'm happy.
Which if you have a long, nice, written out plan, and it's going to be compelling television stuff in there, like last season or the first season of Born Again, I guess we can we could chop that up to the choppy season literally being chopped up, with them having to restart it over and keep certain things and try to mix it in. So it's like a Frankenstein's monster of a project. Now we have a smooth, composed, more coherent project coming out with season 2 and season 3. So I think it's going to get better from here. And I think they're going to go even more brutal. And, the Punisher's going to have his one-shot series, too. So there's going to be a lot to look forward to from that quote-unquote timeline.
Yes, sir. Next in 2026, there's no official date, but Vision Quest. Bringing back Paul Bettany as Vision. Bringing back James Spader as Ultron. And they're pretty much using all of Tony Stark's AI projects, like Friday and Dummy and You and what's the other one? They're not bringing in the one Jennifer Connelly played. I think that's the only one. Yeah, they're bringing back. They're bringing in Orla Brady as Friday. So she's gonna be in. Where have I seen her in?
Yeah.
I know I've seen her in a few things. They're bringing in a character called Doom, DUM-E.
Dummy.
Lewis. Yeah, Dummy. Yeah, there you go. James Darcy, who played Jarvis on Agent Carter, and he also came out in Endgame. He'll be Jarvis, or I guess another version of Jarvis. I'm sorry. Ferran Tahir, who was in the first Iron Man movie, as
it's a bald-headed guy.
Yeah, he'll come in.
Wait, he's gonna be a bald-headed guy again? He's still alive?
Well, you didn't see him die.
Yeah, but I mean, shit, his face is turning purple.
Yeah, but
I mean, Obadiah Stane really had that guy down and out.
Well, all we heard was just gunshots. For all we know, he maybe made it out alive. I don't know. It's Marvel. They can easily retcon shit and be like, oh, he's really a being. Or I don't fucking know. Um,
Hey, do you? By the way, do you, do you happen to chuckle every time Jeff Bridges whispers to him in his ear in his native language?
oh God.
I don't know why, but it cracks me up every time he goes to. I don't know what the fuck he said, but he said something in his native language before the bullets went off. I'm like, man, Jeff Bridges really turned it up a notch towards the end.
I'm okay. This isn't a political show, but this goes with Jeff Bridges. Someone posted a random, like, there's some random Facebook page. I don't know why it came up on my feed, but it showed a picture of Trump bald but with a beard, and he dead ass looked like fucking Obadiah Stane. And
Gosh,
I commented on the post, and it's a community public post. I commented, Tony Stark built this thing in a cave with a box of scraps, and everybody just started laughing and like commenting on my joke. They're like, "That's actually kind of funny." I'm like, "Yep, well that's all." Speed, Tommy Maximoff makes his debut on the show. He will be played by a fella named, I don't know how to pronounce his name for the life of me, but I will try. Rorardi Malika. No clue who that is.
yeah, me neither.
But good for him. Emily Hunter. She will be playing the role of Edith, who was Tony Stark's thing, and also Spider-Man's thing. Tania Miller, I'm sorry, will play the role of Jocasta, who is a cunning and powerful robot driven by revenge. So good for her. Kind of looks like the female Silver Surfer. Todd Stashwick, I've seen him before. He'll be playing the role of Paladin, who is a bounty hunter hunting for Vision. So cool. And then of course our boy Paul Bettany will be Vision. So it's always good to see Paul Bettany back. But
yeah, he did a great job with Vision.
Who's the showrunner for this? Terry Matalas. Let me look at his body of work. He wrote Star Trek Enterprise, Terra Nova, Nikita. He wrote and directed the 12 Monkeys TV show. He wrote
12 Monkeys. Is that the show? Is that the Asian show with the guy?
That's the movie. That was the Bruce Willis movie, but it's the TV show.
Oh, okay.
He also wrote and directed and was an EP and a creator and showrunner for seasons 2 and 3 of Star Trek Picard.
Okay.
Oh, so that's pretty cool.
That's the recent Star Trek, right? As you know, I'm not a Star Wars or Star Trek or
Right.
Harry Potter or I don't. That's not my thing.
No, I get you.
But yeah, that's the recent one, right?
Yeah, that's the one that's on Paramount Plus.
Okay, all right.
But
all right. So I mean, he's got projects underneath his belt. So I mean, let's see what he can do here. See, I always look at a guy's body of work, Julius.
Oh God.
As you can tell, I still want to smoke with that man. I still want to smoke with that dude.
I know you.
Julius. Oh no, he fucking ruined. He ruined it for Anthony Mackie. He did. That son of a bitch. He's not forgiven. He's not allowed at the cookout. He's not even allowed at that fucking Thanksgiving table.
Jesus.
I won't even
Christ.
feed him my grandma's fucking dry ass baked chicken. That's how so much uninvited he is to the black community. That son of a bitch.
You sound like Jim Ross going on a rant about
I
Triple H.
hate that son of a bitch. I hate that bastard.
He sounds like
Damn
you
you,
son of a bitch.
Damn you, Julius. Damn you, son of a bitch. You only had one job. You only had one goddamn job to do, son. And that was to make sure that Anthony Mackie had a damn good Captain America movie. And you didn't do that. Now you son of a bitch.
Oh man. I mean, I would blame that more on Marvel for those fucking reshoots. I don't know.
I blame him.
Okay, all right. I can't change your mind.
Look at his track record. Shitty movies. Son of a bitch. Get him out of here. What were they thinking? But anyways, they got a guy that knows what he's doing. He's got experience running a show. So, all right, let's see what he can do here. Because we got to get this right. We got to get this right. And if we're setting up for Elizabeth Olsen's return to by Scarlet Witch, which she said something very, very interesting the other day
Mm-hmm.
in a quote. I don't know if you saw it. You probably did see it because I know you love the shit out of her.
Mm-hmm.
But she said she doesn't understand why her character all of a sudden became villainous. And I thought that her turn to villainy, so to speak, was kind of weird and out of the left blue as well. That obsession with having the children really clouded her judgment.
Yeah,
that way, that quickly. Yeah, that was very, very strange to me too.
Yeah,
so I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, that was weird because it's like in WandaVision, it made sense for her to go down that route of like, I'm not really a villain, but I'm doing this for the right reasons, and like that's usually what makes some. I mean, with any hero, whenever they're so distraught, you know, kind of like with like Civil War, for example. You know, Iron Man, you know, Tony thought he was doing the right thing, but in the end, he was, you know, just as bad as the bad guys, as he said. With Olsen, you know, with Scarlet Witch on WandaVision, that at least made sense. But then they decided to just have her go full blown villain, and in Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness, and that just didn't make any sense because it seemed like she was kind of going away and like was sorry for her actions. But it's like her whole thing is, I need my kids, and it's like, can't you just make yourself some kids? You know what I mean? Like, you know, whenever I can see through the plot hole of a movie, that kind of ruins the movie for me. Because I'm like, if I can come up with a better script, and I'm not trying to like, you know, put my own balls or anything, but like, if I can see through your bullshit, then there's a problem. You know what I mean? If fucking regular old Drew Yari and RJ, I almost called you by your government name, RJ from South Carolina can see through this bullshit, it's like there's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it was a case of whoever wrote WandaVision and Sam Raimi wasn't on the same page. Which is what I like about what I heard from the last con with the TV. They said that the writers of Spider-Man Brand New Day are on the same page with the writers of the Daredevil show. Making sure that one thing leads to another. While necessarily we won't see Spider-Man on that show, but they want to line up things perfectly to have whatever happens in the Daredevil show bleed into a lesser and less violent degree into the Spider-Man show movie, right. Which is smart. That's an open line of communication. Let's do this and help set it up so we can boost this thing up, so we can boost this TV show up that we're trying to sell, that we're trying to improve on, that we're trying to make somewhat of a staple made over here. Let's use our biggest superhero movie that we got going on right now. Let's help use that to put this TV show up on a different level and want people to be interested to see what is going on with those characters. And I don't think the open line of communication was there either, because like you said, and even, I mean, I saw WandaVision was kind of like a blur for me, but yeah, Wanda was remorseful for her actions, and all of a sudden, I want my kids, and she just starts going on this murderous spree, snap Patrick Stewart's neck and shit, and split my poor baby in half, her fine ass. Oh my God. I've never been so attracted to a woman in a fucking neck to toe bodysuit than I was with Captain Britain. Jesus Christ. My God.
I remember like kind of vaguely think back in my head, like whenever Strange visits her and all of a sudden she like pulls back the curtain and she's evil Scarlet Witch, and I'm like, if I was Strange, I would have been like, bitch, where the fuck did this come from?
Yeah, exactly.
This doesn't make any goddamn sense.
It doesn't. It didn't. And I chalk it up to, okay, they didn't think whoever the villain was going to be for the second movie was going to be a big deal. So they just went ahead and just, let's just use Scarlet Witch. So she went bonanzas somewhat in WandaVision, and let's capitalize off of that, the popularity from that show.
Right. I at least some aspects where she tells them, you know, you bend the rule, you break the rules and you're a hero. I do it and I'm a villain. That doesn't seem fair. I'm like, okay, you know, mess around with that a little bit. But like her going like full blown villain, trying to find her fake kids, that don't
Yeah.
exist. I'm like, I don't know. Again, it's just like if I was in that writer's room, I would have been like, can't she like conjure herself up some kids?
Yeah,
You know,
right.
it would have been like that meme of like, everyone else comes up with dumb ideas. I'm the only one that comes up with a logical idea, and I get thrown out the window. Like, I don't know. But again, anything with my girl Liz, I'm always happy for.
Yeah.
All right, so Vision Quest. Again, I know nothing about it. I just know it's being written, and it's.
It sounds interesting with all of Tony Stark's AI characters coming together, especially in a time where AI is very prime right now and centerfold. I think it's perfect timing to do that show.
All right.
Actually, so.
Oh yeah, no,
it's
you're
gonna be interesting.
1,000% right. All right, and lastly, as far as shows coming out next year, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man season 2. And,
Wait a minute, no Punisher one shot.
I mean, I'm on the shows. I'm not on the
Oh, okay.
specials yet. I can get to the specials, but
No. Okay, no. I thought that we were lumping that in there.
well, no, I'll get to. Well, that's not on that's not on the shows. That's more of a special. But I'll get to that after this.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for that.
Which season 3's been announced as well.
Oh, fuck yeah, buddy, let's do it.
And kind of like Punisher, this is going to be a yearly thing. They're not going to wait every 2 years, for this to happen.
Okay, I just need more episodes. Okay, I need more than what you gave me last time, because they were fucking great. I really loved. I mean, come on. You can almost color me biased, but at the same time, I'm gonna want Spider-Man to do well. I'm one of those people where I'm not blind to my favorite thing. More than anything, I'm gonna look for more mistakes on my favorite stuff. So if you're putting out Spider-Man media and it's garbage, I'm gonna point it out, and I'm gonna be more furious than ever if it's garbage. But I think the showrunners really did a good job with that fucking show, man. And I was just impressed of how they took Spider-Man, still made it friendly, but added some mature elements in there that just shook you at the same time. You're like, ooh, when like a lot of the oh shit stuff that happened, there's just really good stuff, and I just cannot wait for next year to see it again.
Yeah, that was a show that I'm surprised didn't get pushed more. Based off of the Spider-Man brand alone, like that. To me, that show did more for the character as far as being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Not just the name, but also, what he's always been known as. More so than the movies with Tom. And I don't think that's Tom's fault. Like I've said before, I think Tom is a perfect Spider-Man and a Peter. And also, with this new movie coming up, it sounds like we're getting a street level story, which I'm happy about. For this show, I thought I was a little worried about the multiverse stuff, but then they kind of left that alone for a little bit and let Spider-Man kind of do his own thing and be his own character. And it was a perfect way to really establish the character as a part of a Marvel universe, but at the same time, he's doing his own thing. He's worried about his own villains, which I was happy about. And my favorite scene in it, one of my favorite scenes, probably my favorite scene because it really illustrated how important the character is and how much I love the character, is it's an earlier episode where there was this woman who stole a slice of pizza. And, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Like, she's crying. She's like, I'm sorry. I had a bad day. I got fired from my job. Please, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man's telling the pizza guy, like, listen, it's your call. But, she's a rough day. Go easy on her. And
yeah, she made a mistake.
He tells her, don't make me regret this. I'm like, oh my God, that is Spider-Man. Like, that is who Spider-Man is. He looks out for the little guy. So I really love that scene. I love this show, and I'm happy we're getting more. I hope it gets pushed more, if that makes sense. I hope it doesn't just get thrown on the back burner.
Yeah, because I think all of us kind of skeptical about it because they made changes. It was going to be pretty much a prequel to the movies, to Tom's movies at first, but then they put the kibosh on that, And I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did, and they did it in a way where they reworked it into like an alternate timeline version of the Tom stories. Because I mean, you can see certain Tom elements within the cartoon, but not too much, not over reliant or using it as a crutch, so to speak.
Right, and also at the same time bringing in very complex characters, like what they did with Tombstone.
Where, oh yeah, who? That might be my favorite origin of his.
Yeah, like Tombstone was a friend of Peter, and another thing I liked is that they didn't do the typical, Peter was getting bullied. As a matter of fact, people were loving Peter. Lonnie was, the star, football player, but he was also smart, and he was also taking care of his family. And just little things in the show where like Peter says that he just got the internship at Oscorp, and the football team's even celebrating, and they're like, "Hey, maybe Peter should be holding the trophy." I'm like, God damn it! Why is the show getting to me like this? Like, why is everybody so over? Like, I'm happy that they're getting away from old tropes of like, bullies. Like, I'm glad that Peter is still well loved, but I think what's gonna make him not as loved is the fact that he becomes Spider-Man, and he has to do things that he doesn't want to do, but he has to because he took an oath as a hero. And it's what's going to break my heart with the storyline between him and Lonnie, where Lonnie's going to go further into his his villain origin story as Tombstone. And I don't know, it's going to be one of those stories I'm like, come on, Lonnie, go down the right path, but he's not going to go down the right path.
I wonder when he just start turning blue.
I mean, they teased that at the end of the show. Also, Scorpion. They made Scorpion a fucking terrifying villain.
Frightening as hell. Oh my god. Oh, that's probably the scariest incarnation of Scorpion, and we haven't even seen what they're gonna do with Michael Mondo yet. But I'm telling you right now, that's a Daniel Cretton. You better be taking notes of what they did here.
Shit, my boy.
Because yeah, they really showed that's Daniel Cretton, a masterclass on how you fucking write a terrifying Scorpion.
Like just like he beat the shit out of Peter, and then
oh my god, stabbed his ass tail.
Yeah, that final battle where like Peter starts to have a panic attack, and just has that cool shot of like the half mask, half face. I'm like, God damn it, complex characters. Like, why can't we get more of this and like other things? So, yeah, I can't say enough good things about this show. Coleman Domingo as Norman Osborn. I thought that was great.
Coleman, that dude, I wasn't familiar with his work like that because I haven't seen anything he was in. He's a newer actor to my realm, and so is Tremmelman. And I tell you, Coleman Domingo, that guy is fucking great. He played. Remember when he was sassing Dr. Octopus in jail?
That was funny.
You could just hear and smell the sass on this fucking guy. I'm like, oh my god! I said, this is fucking great. I said, Norman Osborn's an asshole, and Coleman Domingo's doing a good job, making me not want to necessarily hate him, but like. It's one of those asshole moments where you kind of respect it a little bit.
He's one of those actors that I wouldn't mind seeing in live action as the character.
Yeah, but it looks like it's going to Tremel Tillman, isn't it not?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I've heard rumor because he kind of, again, he was being coy with it, like a lot of actors are, where they're like, yeah. Are you playing a villain in Brand New Day? And he's like, who says I'm playing a villain? So,
well, your ass ain't gonna be the hero, that's for sure.
I also.
What are you gonna be? What are you gonna be, Tremel? You gonna be Negro Man? Okay. Come on, man. What character are you fucking playing as a superhero? Oh man. Just say it, dog.
I can't repeat that, but but yeah, I also do like, again, they're building up more villain arcs because they also are building up the future dissension between Peter and me. Where Harry is jealous of Peter because his father loves Peter more than him. So that's
I'm liking that they're not rushing all that though. I'm liking that they're not rushing the jealousy, but you see bits and pieces of it there. Like that they're not rushing Lonnie's villainy yet, but we see the wheels turning.
Right, and also
all know Norman Osborn is going to become the Green Goblin eventually, but we're not. We see bits and pieces of it, like the sketches and the schematics or whatever. But we haven't seen him. We haven't seen him with any gas yet. We haven't seen him do the laugh. We haven't seen anything yet. So, like, take your time. Tell the story. As long as we got time, we're not going anywhere. So, take your time. Do what you have to do. And flesh the bad boy out. And let everything be earned. And let us be rewarded by earning it, So, that's all I got to say about that.
Agreed. And also not rushing as far as like bringing in legacy characters, because I like the fact that MJ isn't here yet. I like the fact that Gwen Stacy isn't here yet. She'll be in season 2, but like they brought in what's her name from Runaways as the best friend.
Oh, Nico.
Peter. Yeah, Nico.
Yeah. I like that. Give me something different. I don't need MJ all the time. I don't need Gwen Stacy and Felicia Hardy all the time. Give me something different. Harry being black, okay, that's fine. That's something different. And then, like I said, Nico, that's fine. I got no problems with that because I'm on people. Nico Minoru from fucking Runaways is his best friend. I'm like, yeah, and what's wrong with that? That's not traditional when everything needs to be traditional. Like, come on.
Well, I think people were
something different.
I think people were thinking that they race swapped MJ. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not her, and it wasn't. And again, I'm glad because I'm not familiar with Runaways. I'll admit. I think you're a little bit more familiar with it than me.
To a certain degree. That's more of a Morgan and Mari thing.
Right. But yeah, I like the character. I like how the character came out. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I have to lean on my girls to, to kind of educate me on some of the things that I kind of miss out on. See, that character of Nico Minoru with the dark magic and everything, like, obviously that appeals to a lot more goth and alternative girls. So like, I mean, that's the girls that are going to be paying attention to it. So for the most part, and there you go.
And also New York is full of so many Marvel characters. So there's a lot of avenues you can go through. And also with someone like, Nico, who, dabbles in the dark arts, like eventually you can bring in darker characters, like more horror based characters. Like a Morbius, you can bring in Moon Knight. You can bring in Blade. You can bring in other niche characters. So, again, I can't say enough good things about this show. I know season 2 is supposed to have Gwen Stacy, which I'm cool. I'm cool with.
Spider Gwen.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pretty sure
we had the sketch art. They had the sketch art out and everything.
Pretty sure it's not going to be a girl from the movies. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if it was, but I don't think it will be.
What you call it? Haley Steinfeld. Kind of looks like her a little bit, but the sketch was sketched out. But
I wouldn't be opposed, especially since the Spider-Verse is a thing. But like, again, I don't think it'll be her, but I wouldn't be opposed if it was her. So, anything with Haley Steinfeld, I am A-okay with for obvious reasons. But that's all the shows. Let's get to the specials real quick. As we mentioned, The Punisher. There'll be a Punisher television special that's already in the can. It will come out, I believe, right after Daredevil, heading into Spider-Man Brand New Day, which John Bernthal will be appearing as the Punisher. So the Punisher special will have John Bernthal return in the lead role. He's also co-writing the script, along with go ahead.
No, it's great. I was going to say, which gives me a lot of hope and faith with that, because I mean he seems to be, he's not here for a paycheck. He's here for quality. So I definitely appreciate that about John Bernthal, and he wants to do right by the character. So him co-writing it and him behind it and everything like that really speaks volumes to me on him just as an actor and him wanting to make sure this thing is right for the fans. So
he will also, along with the co-writer, the showrunner and director, or it's not a showrunner, it's a special, but like the director of the show will be a fella that he actually has a history with, Bernthal. His name is Reynaldo Marcus Green. John Bernthal worked with him on a show called We Own This City, which is done by the same showrunner as The Wire. And I watched it.
Okay.
That was actually, We Own This City. That was actually
The Wire was great. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, We Own This City was pretty good too. John Bernthal, as you can imagine, was great on the show. Mr. Green's credits for movies is a movie to which he directed and wrote called Monsters and Men. Joe Bell, King Richard with Will Smith. The
movie that got Chris Rock slapped.
Yeah, it was a slap.
Oh, Richard!
Yeah, the movie slapped, is what from what I heard. And Bob Marley, One Love. And
okay.
TV shows, I just mentioned We Own This City. A show called Top Boy, and a documentary called A Man the Fight for America. And that's essentially it. But he's going to be directing, he's going to be an EP, and he's also going to be writing the show along with John Bernthal. So, again, that's kind of where I have more faith in this show. Being more than just Angry Man with a gun, and being more of a faithful Punisher adaptation. Because John Bernthal, as I've said, when he came back to play the role, it showed that one, he cares more about the character than we know, and B, Marvel is willing to be more faithful to the character, not just on Daredevil, but on this show. And also, to kind of skip ahead, him showing up in a PG-13 MCU movie, granted it's Spider-Man, but still it's PG-13, and also him agreeing to it shows that he does, that he read something in that script that made him go, okay, I can work with that. And it's not just like him coming in for a payday. Like, he's coming in because he knows that they're going to do right by the character.
John, I hope you know that there will be no bullets to the head in the Spider-Man movie, all right?
No, he knows that.
All right. Don't you? I don't like my Spider-Man violent, okay? This is not a rated R project, all right? No bullets to the head. You better do that shit off screen, all right? I'm not going to stand for it.
Let me tell you something, RJ.
All right, bump your gums, dog. Bump your gums.
There's this compilation of John Bernthal saying he always wants to talk to somebody about something. Whether it's like him as the Punisher, him as Shane, or him in King Richard. He's like, let me talk to you about something, Richard.
You sound just like him, too.
Let me tell you something, Rick. Man. You can't protect him, Rick. You can't protect him, Rick. I can raise your boy. But no, I think with Spider-Man, obviously he can't be as violent, but you can still bring that intensity. There can be scenes where Spider-Man's trying to save someone from getting killed by the Punisher, but then the camera pans away and you hear a gunshot. So, and it's also going to be like a morality thing for Punisher, kind of like how it was for Daredevil, where it's going to be a little different because Daredevil's still a violent character at the end of the day, whereas Spider-Man's not violent. Spider-Man's more about justice, but he doesn't want to hurt people to get that justice. And, Frank can be like, listen, kid, you don't know what kind of world you're in. I got to put these people down. You punch them and they still get back up. I shoot them, they stay down. And then at the end, like, it can be a thing where, like, Frank's still going to be Frank, but he respects Peter more as a person, as a human being, because he's like, kid, you all right? kid, you're everything I wish I was, but I can't. There's no turning back. Boy, I would have loved if you was my son, but unfortunately that can't happen. You remind me a lot of my boy. Your hot ass aunt is dead. And there's nothing we can do about it. Damn. You say his name's MJ. What does she look like?
I'm ready to give her a gut tootin' real good time.
Doctors, imprison me. Oh, see, absolute horror. I cannot live.
I'm gonna show her why they really call me the Punisher.
Because I punish her.
Karen Page can't get enough of me. Blondie can't get enough.
I don't do that Kennedy ass hero crap, Pete.
Oh, God. You know, Pete, have you ever had sex before? Oh, man.
Mr. Castle, that's not right. Let me tell you something, Pete.
Yeah. You go ahead, cock first, buddy.
You just gotta shove it in, no questions asked.
If she scratches you, that's a sign of endearment. Just keep on doing the job, buddy.
Listen, MJ, it's best that Pete doesn't know about this, but before we climax, the safe word is...
Mr. Castle, did you have sex with my girlfriend? Yes! Because I liked it! Oh, God. Oh, no. Wifey presents Frank Castle and MJ featuring Pete.
It's like, hey, Frank, you want to go another round? I'm tired, MJ.
Can't do this shit no more. I can't punch him like I used to.
You ever been tired, Pete?
Oh, man.
Because I'm tired after... Never mind. Anyways, but yeah, just Punisher special presentation. There's really no official name. I imagine it's just going to be The Punisher with some clever name. But yeah, John Bernthal's back. Jason R. Moore, who played Curtis, he's back. And someone named Ro Rancel has been cast as Dennis. I don't know who that is. And,
Dennis the Menace?
Yes. Ma Ganucci will be the villain.
Oh yeah, we kind of knew that as soon as there was like all female mob boss. I mean, that's only one person, and oh my God, have you seen the comic book where he kills her?
Yes, that was fucking dope.
I mean, if they do that in the show, that's gonna be. God damn it! Oh man.
Yeah, they haven't said who's playing her, but I guess we'll find out. But yeah, it's the Punisher.
They should get that lady from Dread 2012 to play her.
Oh, what's her name from Game of Thrones?
What's her name? Lena Headey or whatever her name is.
Yeah, she was on Game of Thrones.
I don't watch that, so I don't know.
Well, I'm not a big fan of that. I just know she's on it. But like, yeah, they haven't. They're showing someone in the role, but they haven't said who it is. So I guess
Eva Green. Eva Green is pretty, good at being mysterious, but like,
evil,
bossy and evil.
Let me tell you something, Ma Ganucci.
You're looking kind of sexy over there. I'm gonna have to punish you 2 ways. 2 shots, 1 kill. Turn over so I can trail.
But Punisher, you ripped all my arms off. I told you, it's the Punisher special. I punish her. Dick so deep, put her ass asleep.
She's not gonna be able to walk again after I'm done.
Oh man, cast Dua Lipa. Cast Dua Lipa only for my reasons, which people.
She's gonna die. I don't want to see her die.
I don't know. Just cast her in anything, just so I can look at her.
God, well, damn.
I just want to stand next to her and then not, if that makes sense.
You want to stand next to her and sniff her hair?
Yes.
That's so good.
Hey, I mean, she's kind of tough. She'll probably like roundhouse kick me. I'm like, fuck, it was worth it.
Yeah, my jaw's rearranged for life, but yeah, that's really good. That's good.
Shit,
it's real good.
Shit, I'll gladly listen to listen to "Blow Your Mind" or whatever the fuck. I can't.
No, God, that one song of hers they keep on playing on the radio at the store. I could be the one.
Don't Start Now.
Oh my God, that is they have run that to the ground.
But
Oh
yeah,
man,
Punisher. It will be coming out soon. I'm assuming after Daredevil. That's kind of looks like the way they're going. But and then X-Men '97 season 2. It's supposed to come out next year. Supposed to be more violent, more dark than the first season, which is X-Men, so it comes with the territory. But yeah,
I mean they're gonna let Wolverine go nuts like on the video game.
I hope so, because listen, I love Wolverine, but I know Wolverine's not the leader of the X-Men. I know that, and those X-Men movies were clearly written by fanboys.
Yeah,
You know?
his character.
And there's a difference between someone who's a fan and a fanboy. Like a fan can come in and be more inspired and write a better script, and find ways to not just like feel like they're pandering. You know, a fanboy is just that, a fanboy of like, Wolverine needs to be the leader. Wolverine needs to be in everything. The blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, but what about Cyclops? Wolverine. It's like, okay, cool. You know, this show, '97, it showcased Cyclops kind of like how he should be, which is the leader of the X-Men. You know,
They rehabbed his character like a motherfucker, man, and it was needed.
same thing with Storm. Like Storm was a fucking badass, dude.
She was.
You know,
I just hate the mohawk. I
love.
I don't like that.
I love the mohawk.
I think it looks weird. It's kind of frightening when a woman's bald and she doesn't have cancer. Like if you got cancer, then I can understand it. But when a woman's bald, it's kind of weird to me. I don't know. It's just one of those things.
I don't know.
I can't get past it.
The only exception I make is Storm. Storm with a mohawk is badass. That's the only exception.
Yeah.
Everyone else on the show, they actually made me care about Jubilee. I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, I love Jubilee. I loved her as a kid.
I
don't know. I'm a Jubilee mark. I don't know why. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm a Jubilee mark.
And then everybody else, like, they were getting
Sunspot.
Sunspot, everybody was getting mad that they took away Rogue's, booty, which they gave it back, but, whatever. And then Gambit.
Give Rogue back that ass.
They gave Gambit, a meaningful death. My boy went out like a G.
But he ain't staying dead for too long.
Nah, he's coming back. He's going to come back as one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Of course.
But yeah, Wolverine, like, there was a point where, like, he just was non-existent on the show. I'm like, hey, appreciate what you're trying to do, but, like, can you give Wolverine something to do? Because he's still Wolverine. And, they did the classic callback from the comic where Magneto takes all the animanium out of him.
That was great. That was a shot snatched out of the books, like literally.
So I love that.
When me and Morgan saw it, we was like, "Holy shit, that's out of the comic books!" Like straight up. Like wow.
There was good fan service, but not to the point where it felt distracting. To the point where it was like hey, that was awesome.
Hey, you remember that now? Don't you remember this from the book? Ha ha ha! Wink wink. Nah, don't you get it? Like they didn't do a lot of that.
And Nightcrawler, you got to see more of Nightcrawler's like powers, like that one scene where him and Wolverine are teleping, and you actually got to see from his point of view. I'm like, dude, that was awesome. Like that was dope.
Yeah,
that was dope.
I like Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler
is one of my favorites.
And then Magneto.
What about What about Morph?
I don't want to say I love Morph, but I like Morph. It's one of those things of just like, I still kind of am confused about the difference between him and Mystique. But yeah. I do like what they did with Morph. I don't know shit about the character, and I don't know if I'm attached to it. But it's one of those things of just like, if I can see more of them. And yeah, they came out as a binary character, a non-binary character. I don't really give a fuck. Who cares? But it's Morph. Who cares? But yeah, it's just like I want to see more of that character. And then Magneto, bro. Magneto was right. Like Magneto was right the whole time. When he lifts up, what is it, the Senate, and just says,
Yeah,
"Listen, I can just drop you motherfuckers down right now, but I made a promise to my best friend, and please don't let me let you down." Literally, literally and figuratively. Um, and then Genosha happens, and he just goes back to his old ways. And he has that great line to Charles where he's like, "Charles, I've been meaning to tell you this for a long time. Shut up." I just,
yeah,
I don't
that
know.
preachy shit. That preachy shit can get on your nerves real quick. But that dynamic a whole lot more better because as a fan, you can buy into what both guys are saying, but just the way you go about certain things sometimes in certain ways, even in real life, can really turn certain people off and against you. Like I hate when somebody gets overly militant and too preachy, which is the case with both Magneto and Professor Xavier.
Well, it's kind of
For
like that.
Magneto is very, very militant about and hell bent on what he's got to do and say, and Charles Xavier is very preachy. And like I said, both things can get on your nerves real quick.
No, I
You know?
agree. Which is why in the movies, like Magneto was just straight up evil, and then Xavier was like the beacon of good, which I'm like, that's not really them though. And then in the First Class movies with McAvoy and Fassbender, that's when they made more of their characters from the comics and the cartoons, where Fassbender was such an asshole, but he had a reason to be an asshole, and you were agreeing why he was an asshole. And then Charles, especially in Days of Future Past, they kind of made him this very broken character, and I'm like, yeah, that's how you do it, especially in that one scene where they tried to make, well, they didn't try, but he did, like they made Charles almost look like an addict because he wanted to walk again. He gave up his powers so he can walk again. And
Mm-hmm.
there's that great scene with him and Fassbender where he's telling Fassbender like, "What the fuck are you judging me for? Like you abandoned us." And then Fassbender just goes, "Oh, really? What about this? What about these people? You let people die. You abandon your brothers and sisters all while you can get your fix and learn to walk again. So you abandoned us, motherfucker." Like so, I like complex stories like that. I like when the hero isn't always the hero, and I like when the villain
Mm-hmm.
can still be the villain, but at the same time make you question the hero's motives. You know what I mean? Like that's why Civil War works so well because Captain America. At the end of the day, I'm still Team Cap, but I still disagree with how Cap went about things. And he even admitted at the end, like, listen, I thought I was sparing you pain by not telling you about what Bucky did to your parents, but in the end, I was really sparing myself. And Tony was just consumed by rage and emotion. And that's what made him wrong. Because in the end, he still got his friends imprisoned. So, but yeah, 97, like, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see it, sooner rather than later. And it looks like we're getting that. So, all right, so that's the shows. The movies we kind of already talked about. Brand New Days coming out in July 31st, I believe. Hold on, let me pull it up. Yeah, so yeah, Brand New Day, July the 31st, 2026. Um, July looks like it's gonna be the summer of Tom and John and Zendaya. Because Tom's only going to be in this movie. He's going to be in the Odyssey, Christopher Nolan flick. That's going to be on my
Mm-hmm.
birthday, actually. And then John Bernthal is going to be in that as well. And then Zendaya is going to be in that as well. So it's going to be the summer of those three. So it should be a fun summer. But obviously, you have Tom Holland returning to the role, Zendaya, Jacob Batalon, Sadie Sink, who we're not sure who she's going to play, but there's been talk about who she's going to play. Liza Colon Zayas, who's on The Bear. We're not sure who she's going to play, but again, there's talk. John Bernthal will be back as the Punisher, Frank Castle. Mark Ruffalo will be returning as Bruce Banner, the Hulk. Michael Mondo will be returning as Matt Gargan, the Scorpion. Tremel Tillman. Again, we've been speculating who he can play. And then Marvin Jones III will be playing Lonnie Lincoln / Tombstone, which he actually played on Spider-Verse. So,
yeah.
Alleged Charlie Cox might be returning as Daredevil.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, a stack cast. Daniel Destin Cretting will be taking over this new trilogy. Again, obviously, I'm looking forward to it. Especially with the filming, and they even released almost like a mini trailer of the production filming. And listen, it's Spider-Man. It's a license to print money. It's a new day, pun intended, but it's going to be a story, because it's going to be more of a street-based hero and less of a Spider-Man fighting off Tony Stark's greatest villains, arc. But
yeah, I'm glad we ain't getting none of that.
Right, we're getting Tom getting to play his own version of the character, which it was meant to be played. And also, I think this is a role that he's been wanting to play for a while. More of a street-based hero, and less of a, MCU Avengers, Spider-Man. But looking forward to it. There's no reason why this movie can't be good.
Yeah,
but I
agree.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we've talked about this movie ad nauseum, but we can't help but talk about this movie because we're both Spider-Man marks. I mean, the name of the show is Friendly Neighborhood Marks, which is a takeoff of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. But I don't know, man. I want this film to happen already. Like, this is on my most anticipated. This might even be my most anticipated movie of the year, of next.
Well, undoubtedly for me. I mean, I'm not really a movie goer, anyways. But I mean, definitely for me personally. I mean, I'm a Spider-Man guy. Like, my phone case, Spider-Man. Like, a bunch of different things in my house, Spider-Man. So my coffee mug and hot chocolate mug, Spider-Man. So I mean, Spider-Man figures out the wazoo in my house, like Kevin Castle would say. I'm one of those guys. I'm sorry. It is what it is, but I'm one of those guys, and I need this movie to be good. I need this movie to really, really focus on Peter Parker, which a lot of the cameos that they're talking about scares me a lot because it's like we separated ourselves, but yet no, we're going to have Yelena pop up in this thing and the Hulk and all this other stuff. Punisher, I don't mind. I guess they have to shove the Hulk somewhere because he can't have his own movie. They're still on that where he can't have his own movie. So fine, but I just want Peter to have the movie that he needs to have, where we can flesh out both Spider-Man and Peter Parker in one shot, and just really spend time with the character without it being any outside distractions taking away from his own personal story as both characters.
No, I'm definitely agreeing with you because that was I think everyone's biggest gripe with the handling of that character, because it just felt like every movie it felt like Tom Holland was being overshadowed by somebody bigger than him. The first movie was Tony. The second movie was still it was about Tony. It was about living up to Iron Man's expectations. And the third movie I think felt more like an origin story, because you bring in a lot of these legacy characters, but that was probably the best way to bring in a lot of these characters because they further Tom's character development as the character. Green Goblin did, Doc Ock did, especially the two other Spider-Men. They were there to further along his story as Peter.
They all taught him lessons too.
In wrestling, the old vet's supposed to put over the young, up and coming star.
Yeah, but I just think there was. I mean, like I said, those characters gave him lessons. Green Goblin, always be ready. Not every villain you get is going to be forgiven. You got to keep focus. You got to keep focus and realize that there are people out there that are just that evil. And then Tom and not Tom, but Toby and Andrew's Spider-Man can really show them what it's like to balance that. what way would you lead down a dark path, and what it would like to be when you see that light on the dark end of the tunnel, you know? So yeah, I just think there was a lot of different lessons learned from that movie that is going to help transition into this next trilogy of films. But they really have to let Tom own it on both characters' ends and do things for him. Like that's the reason why I like that the Scorpion's going to be involved in this, because that was a Tom thing. You know, Tom was the reason why he was in the hospital, or not in the hospital, but in prison. He's the reason why he's got that scar on his forehead and shit now. So like he's going to be coming out of prison to go after him. So like there's some consequences for his actions there, and it's going to come back to get him, and he's going to have to deal with that accordingly. But yeah, man, I'm just excited, man. I'm excited. The characters, I chalk all the characters up to being a montage in the beginning to kind of see what he's been up to the last couple of years. So I'm not really worried about that. What I am worried about is them having the Hulk in and Black and the other Black Widow. I don't need too much of that. I don't need too much of that cameo shit for the Avengers. I get you want to sell it, but like, just come on, like, just let it be.
I mean, I think if anything, I think they can pull it off. That's always going to be a worry of when you have too many characters, you know, because I think the last we heard is that Yelena was supposed to come out in the movie in a small role. And I'm like, listen, love me some Florence Pugh, love me some Yelena, but it's like, unless it's like a post-credit scene where it's setting up Doomsday, like I don't really see why you would need to bring her in.
Yeah, me neither.
You know, Hulk is interesting because Hulk, I think, could be that bridge between how you bring in Peter and Frank, where, you know, something's going to happen where Bruce Banner goes back to being Savage Hulk, which, hell yeah, that's something we've been wanting for a while. Like I like Professor Hulk or Sexy Hulk, you know, who's wearing, you know, John Draper's cardigan. Like, no, we don't need to see that. And also
Daddy Hulk.
And also John Draper made that joke before I did, so don't get mad at me. But shout out to John Draper. Yep. Yeah, like we want to see Savage Hulk. Like that's the Hulk. That's who we've been wanting for the longest time. And I love Mark Ruffalo as an actor. I just don't think he's really tapped into what makes the Hulk, or what makes Bruce Banner, because as much as we all universally want to shit on the Ed Norton one, Ed Norton, to me, I think was the closest to the comics. To what?
Oh no, dude, I love the Ed Norton fucking Incredible Hulk movie. I like that.
I'm not saying you and me. I'm saying everybody universally shits on it.
I thought everybody universally shits on the Eric Bana one.
That and
do they really universally?
Oh yeah.
Do people really universally shit on the Incredible Hulk? I rarely hear it. Like, I think people shit on the fact that we never got a follow up more than anything. Which, I mean, obviously, right issues and this, that, and the other, but like, I mean, it's kind of news to me that people universally shit on it.
Right. I mean, because like Ed Norton, apparently there was like some things behind the scenes where like he didn't want to promote it, or he had problems with the script or whatever. But like, I don't know. I thought he was a good Bruce Banner. I thought he actually looked like Bruce Banner from the comics, and he brought more of a darkness to the character. Whereas Mark Ruffalo, again, Mark Ruffalo is an amazing actor, but Mark Ruffalo, and I don't know if I'll blame him on it. I would say the writing, but like he's been more of a goofy, lighthearted Bruce Banner and more of a dork rather than like, you know, whatever. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, he has.
But
he goes to talk or whatever. I just wind up laughing. I don't know why.
But I mean, again, like we'll see what he does. But like, we already talked about John ad nauseum. You know, other characters like Sadie Sink, who I think is great. I love her in Stranger Things.
Marvel better be careful over this whole surprise thing, because if it's a character that nobody knows, that's not universally known, and they're keeping that a secret, they're going to let a lot of people down, and it's going to look bad. So if she's playing a character that's not as big as a note, they better just go ahead and announce it now, Because if it's anything but Mayday or even Jean Grey to a lesser degree, or something like that, that is definitely cool and known, well known, they better just go ahead and just announce who she's playing now. Save themselves the embarrassment, or, you know, people being like, oh, all this mystery around that fucking character, nobody knows who the fuck that is. If it's Shothra, nobody's gonna know who the fuck that is. Like, or any other, like, you know, lower tier female Spider-Man villain, nobody's gonna know who the fuck that is. Jackpot, nobody's gonna, I mean, some of us might get Jackpot, but like, hey, come on. just go ahead and say it. Same thing with Tremel Tillman. Just save yourself from all this mysterious, oh, we tell you who they're playing. Well, why the fuck not if it doesn't hold weight? It's got to hold weight.
I agree.
And I just think that
I agree with you to an extent. I don't mean to talk over you, but like,
go ahead.
Yeah, like if it's a character that people are actually going to be invested in, like, yeah, keep that mystery. But if it's like somebody that's very niche and only like a handful of people are going to know who that character is, it's like it's like the ending of Peacemaker, where, like, you know, it's obviously setting up the next movie and the DC universe going forward, but it's like, man, that's a very niche like ending. I don't think
nobody
are gonna know what that means, but like,
no,
yeah,
hell no.
You know, it's like if oh boy, you know, Tillman, if he's playing, let's say if he is playing Green Goblin, you know, yes, keep that a secret. But like if he's playing like
secret, yeah.
You know, if he's playing, you know, Jimmy Jack Jacob Funk or whatever the fuck, it's like, okay, nobody knows who this is and nobody cares. I'm sorry.
Yeah, even if, okay, let's just say, oh, he's playing Robbie Robertson. I don't think that's a character worth keeping a secret for. That's a normal supporting Spider-Man character, and it would work with the Tombstone stuff. So if he's playing Robbie, just go out and just come out and just say it. But if he's playing the new Green Goblin, new Norman Osborn, okay, yeah, definitely keep that a twist. I wouldn't mind that.
Or if he's playing Officer Jefferson, you know, and we know who Officer Jefferson
is. I kind of have mixed feelings about it, because on one hand, yeah, you kind of want to hide the fact that we're setting up Miles, but at the same time, it's like, just come out and say who he's playing too, because, I mean, it's not like Jefferson Davis does have a legacy, so to speak, but, I mean, I don't think he's that big of a character to a point where you have to keep it a mystery.
Well, yes and no.
Unless you really you're gonna have Miles show up in the immediate future, you know what I'm saying? Which, I mean, legally they could after 2027. That's when Beyond the Spider-Verse is supposed to be coming out.
Yeah. So
legally, I mean, they could go ahead and set that up, but I mean, it's kind of I don't know, a catch-22 there, so to speak. Kinda, but not really. Don't see the big deal of really hiding that necessarily, but I just think he's got to play somebody big too. Like, it's got to be big. If they're keeping it a secret, it's got to be something big. If he's just playing Robbie Robinson and they kept it a secret all this time, I'd be pissed. Like, really, just come on and say it.
And also, when I think about it, let's say he is Jefferson Davis, and like you already had Donald Glover come out as Aaron,
yeah,
and he was the Prowler in, you know, Spider-Verse. It's like, realistically, those two don't even look like they would be brothers, because I think, isn't like Tremel Tillman like older than Donald Glover?
I don't know anything about Tremel Tillman other than he looks like somebody that's straight out of the fucking 70s with the fucking afro and that mustache.
So, I don't know.
I really don't know much about the brother, to be honest with you.
And that's kind of another thing, is like, I wish...
All I know is he's a great actor. A lot of people say he's a great actor. That's all I know about the dude.
Oh, he's 40. He's on that show.
He's 40 years old.
That everyone is like in love with, and I have never watched it.
Kind of looks like when he has a full head of hair and a full beard, he looks like James Harden a little bit.
James Harden. Yeah,
but he looks like. But you know what though? Right here, where he's got the picture with the afro and the mustache, he looks like Donald Glover in some of Donald Glover's stuff where he has his mustache and the afro. So, I mean, maybe if they let Donald Glover have his signature hairdo and the fucking mustache, and Tremel Tillman have his fucking afro and that mustache, which that's the look he's been rocking for for a while, and some of the stuff that I've seen him in, like some of the stuff I've seen like in passing with him in it, because I didn't know who the hell he was either until they brought his name up a bunch of times. Like, who the hell is this guy? So I'm researching and looking, and everything I've seen him in that's going on currently, afro and the fucking mustache. So I mean, they can get away with that by having both of them have the afro and the mustache. Obviously, Donald Glover having more of a modern twist on the afro, with the little little locks at the top or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think they can get away with that.
I don't know. I would personally love if Donald Glover came back, and I don't know if
I
he'll
would
come
too.
back in
I
this.
would too.
I don't know if he'll come back in this movie because we've already talked about too many characters. If anything, save him for the next movie, or obviously when they bring in Miles. But like, I don't know. Like Donald Glover is one of those actors of like, hey, you had him, and he's gonna be possibly playing one of your big villains. Like, fuck, bring him in. You know what I mean?
Especially for Miles, because I mean, Miles has got a nice rogues gallery too. But I mean, unless you read the Miles Morales comic books, you wouldn't know who a lot of his villains are. And Miles has got a lot of female villains too. I've noticed.
I mean, they did that with Tinker.
Nah, they gender bent that one. They could have had that. I ain't got no problem with that either, but Miles has got so many female villains that it wasn't even necessary for them to even do that.
But I don't know.
He's got a female speedster. He's got his own version of the black. Well, his version of the black cat's actually a man, the white cat. Okay. So that's not necessarily sexy, but but he's got a lot of female villains though, Miles.
Like I'm with Miles, kind of like with Tom. They need to find someone that's perfect. And Tom, it was like we need to find someone who has the best qualities of Andrew and Toby. Where with Miles, it's like we need to find someone who has those qualities that Miles has. Of he's a black kid, but he's also a Puerto Rican kid.
Yeah. I mean, and one thing I'll see, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but a lot of his villains are women of color.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of white, he's a lot of black women, a lot of Hispanic women, and a lot of I think he has Agent Chow, who's obviously an Asian woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, he's got Hightail. Hightail is pretty cool, actually. Rabble, a lot of people like Rabble too. So I mean, Miles and Rabble's kind of like almost damn near tech based too. So they could have used Rabble instead of using the Tinkerer, which the Tinkerer was all her that whole storyline. Thinking back on it now, that whole thing was garbage. I hated that. She was such an awful villain. Her motivations, I mean, it's just you could poke holes in that thing. Boop. Boop, boop.
No, I personally liked it. I think the motivations made sense because the corporation, put her brother.
Yeah, I just think that Rick should have been the villain.
Okay.
Because they wanted you to like her so badly, but she still treated Miles like shit. And then they gave her the cheap and not earned redemption at the end by the sacrifice at the end. It's like, ugh, whatever. That was cheap. That wasn't earned. That was cheap. So, yeah, I think it would have been better if Rick would have been the villain. Like, Rick would have been the puppeteer. Like, he was the one that got caught in the explosion or whatever. But he was, like, sort of, like, leading the whole thing. Which I thought was going to happen, by the way. I thought that was a chance that was going to happen. But obviously it didn't, and I think the story would have been a whole lot more better had they would have went down that route. But because it would have been even more complex for Miles, because at that point, Rick himself personally, like it would really make a whole lot of sense if Rick himself and Miles clashed, because Rick went through it. He went through it physically, and I think there would have been more meat on the bone to tell with that had it would have been Rick versus Miles, other than Finn, don't call her Phineas Mason.
Right.
Yeah, but I think Hightail would have been better.
Right.
Hightail. I want to see Hightail in the next game. You hear me, Insomniac? Hightail and Rabble. We want that.
Let me tell you something, Insomniac.
Let me tell you something.
But that's all the Marvel stuff. So we already covered everything. Let's get to DC and kind of breeze through that. We're coming up on 2 hours. So the TV shows, there's only one TV show coming out next year for DC, and that'll be Lanterns, which that's already in the can. Pretty good cast. You have Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan, a seasoned Hal Jordan. Aaron Pierre as John Stewart. It's pretty dope. Kelly MacDonald. I don't know who that is. Nathan Fillion will be returning as Guy Gardner. So anything with Nathan Fillion, I'm always game for. I'm a fan of the Philly. Garrett Dillahunt will be William Macon. That's a familiar face. He is... I don't know, if you saw his face, you would recognize. He was in Raising Hope. That's like his most notable thing. Someone named Porna Jagannathan. She will be a character named Zoe. Ulrich Thompson will be playing Sinestro. He's been in a few things. He played the villain character in Banshee, and he was also in the Thing prequel. So I'm interested to see what he can do. Nicole Ari Parker. She will be Bernadette Stewart, the mother of John Stewart. Jason Ritter will be playing a character named Billy Macon. Sherman Augustus will be John Stewart Jr. The father of John Stewart. Paul Ben Victor will be Anton, the extraterrestrial who is devoted to exposing the truth and exacting vengeance against those who wronged his people, and delivers his own brand of justice. Chris Coy will be Waylon Sanders. Kerry Christopher, who was just in a movie who was just in Weapons, which I loved. I think he was like the best part of it, and he'll be playing Noah, a charming, polite, and gifted small-town child. Laura Linney, esteemed actress Laura Linney, will be in a DC show. I believe she'll be Carol Ferris. That's her name. And Paula Patton will be on the show as well. I imagine a love interest for John. So this is one of those shows I'm actually legit looking forward to. Not because it's DC, not because it says superheroes, but like more so the people writing it. So I don't have the writers in front of me. I don't fucking know why. But like, you have Damien Lindelof. His body of work is, let's see, Star Trek Into the Darkness, World War Z, TV shows. Let's blow back to the 90s. Lost. He did episodes of Lost. He was an EP, a writer, and a director. TV show called The Leftovers. Watchmen, the TV show from a few years ago. Miss Davis, and Lantern. So he has a nice little body of work. And Tom King, who's a comic book writer, will be a part of it. Also, I don't have them in front of me. And for the life of me, I can't find them. But you have the writers from True Detective on the show. Season 1 of True Detective, not those whack-ass versions of True Detective. Season 1 of True Detective. So this is gonna be like basically a space cop story, like True Detective, but with superheroes. So I'm very interested in this. But again, love me some Kyle Chandler. I'm a Friday Night Lights fan. That's Coach Taylor right there. Interesting to see what he can do as Hal Jordan. And then Aaron Pierre, who's kind of new to the scene, who was good in Blade, but for obvious reasons he left the movie, and now he's in DC as John Stewart. So, but how do you feel about this show?
I mean, I ain't got no personal attachment to this version of Green Lantern, or any version of Green Lantern. Green Lantern is not necessarily one of my top favorites, but if this is constructed way better than that horrible ass Green Lantern movie from 2011, then I mean anything is better than that, and I'll watch it. You know, I'm gonna watch it because I'm a comic book fan first and foremost, and Green Lantern is a part of my childhood, being a Justice League and a Justice League Unlimited fan. So I'm gonna watch, but um, I think James Gunn's gonna have this thing organized and everything like that, so it's gonna be better, way better than that piece of shit back in 2011. So I'm looking forward to see what they do. They got a good cast here, a good crew, so you can't go wrong with it. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, because that's the first step. Is really you have the talent, but you need to have people who know what they're doing with the talent in order to make the whole thing work. Because the 2011, I mean, they had good actors. Ryan Reynolds is charismatic enough and fine enough to do what he needs to do as a leading man. And they had a couple other good actors in that movie, but it was the shits, you know, because I think it had bad CGI. For me personally, bad CGI and bad directing and bad writing, to be honest with you. And, you know, all those things can make a disaster, no matter who's talented or not. But if you have great direction and great writing, I mean, you can make magic. And I think James Gunn wants to make these quality projects. He doesn't want to make projects off of quantity. He wants to make great quality stuff. And I trust what he's got going on. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch this next year. It's coming out next year, right?
Yeah, they don't have a date.
Okay.
Last I read, I believe it's coming out right after Supergirl, which we're
Okay.
going to talk about in a bit. So, but those are the shows as far as like the shows coming out next year. That's the only show coming out. There might be more announced, you know, as time goes on. But movies, Supergirl, which is going to be based off of the Woman of Tomorrow comic, which is really fucking good. They did something. I mean, they were able to make the character more interesting and give the character more layers, where, as opposed to someone like Clark, who was raised by humans and, you know, became the person who he became, you know, Supergirl, you know, Kara, she watched her entire civilization and her family die right in front of her eyes. So she became a lot more jaded and a lot more, you know, rageful. But at the same time, she still wanted to help people. You know, but she's not like Clark, where she's like, you know, goody Clark Kent.
Yeah, she's not as hopeful as he is.
Right, but it's one of those
and obviously from her cameo in, you know, Superman, she's a mess. She's a mess, and she's one of those people, much like we know in real life, likes to party away their pain. And I mean, that was a great setup, you know, to obviously a bigger piece that we're going to see in this. That was one thing that was definitely one thing I took away from that cameo right off the bat. So that's going to be great. I can't wait to see that. That girl, Millie, what's her last name?
Millie Alcock.
Yeah, she looks like a fucking kid. I mean, she's got the face of a teenager. It's very bizarre, but she did really well in that cameo. Just that cameo alone made me want to go, I want to see more of what they got going on there. So I think she's the girl for the job. And I can't wait to see what she does next. I'm wondering who the villain's going to be. It's going to be interesting to see who they pick to play the part or whatever. I don't know what they got done and nailed down yet. They haven't revealed too much, not that I know of Supergirl. And if they have, I probably haven't been following or just missed it or whatever. But yeah, all I know is she's going to be dangling around in the red sun a lot. That's all I know.
Well, I have everything right here. Amelia Alcock, as you mentioned, will be Kara Zor-El / Supergirl. James Gunn describes her as pixie-ish, but very attitudinal kind of character, like we saw in the movie and also in the comics. She watched everyone around her die, making her more jaded than her cousin, who on Earth by loving parents, because Kryptonians are healed and gain powers from yellow suns. Supergirl likes to party on planets with red suns where she can get drunk. So, like you said, you know, more of a complex take on the character where she parties away her pain. So, which makes for a good character arc. The villain is a villain from the comics who's a Krem of the Yellow Hills. He is, and I don't have any info on him. He actually kills Supergirl's dad, so she's out for justice on him. He will be played by an actor named Matthias. Jesus Christ, with these names. Matthias Schoenaerts. Again, one of those faces that you've seen. We just don't know him by name. But he'll be playing the villain. An actress named Eve Ridley will play Ruthie Mary Knoll, who is a young girl whom Supergirl meets on her journey. I remember that character. David Krumholtz will be playing Zor-El, Supergirl's father. So David Krumholtz is in the DCU. Emily Beecham will be playing Alora Zor-El, who's Supergirl's mother. And Jason Momoa will be making his return to DCU, but as Lobo.
Yeah.
The character he was meant to be. And then, of course, Krypto will be in the film. But, directing the film will be Craig Gillespie, who has a pretty interesting resume. He directed Mr. Woodcock, which had Billy Bob Thornton in it. I remember that. Lars and the Real Girl, Fright Night, the remake, which I actually like. Million Dollar Arm, The Finest Hours, I, Tonya, with Harley Quinn and the Winter Soldier in the movie. Cruella, Dumb Money, which was pretty good, and Supergirl. So he has a nice little resume on him. Writing it will be a young lady whose name I've seen a lot attached to a lot of DC projects. Is Anna Nogueira. Her writing credits, I have them right here. I don't know why I don't. She'll actually be writing a Teen Titans film and a Wonder Woman film from DC. So, James Gunn.
Her real life Teen Titans?
Yeah, they're doing a Teen Titans film.
Like in action, live action? Joint?
That's what I have. Let's see. Anna will be writing the screenplay. Gunn and Safran confirmed that Nogueira had been working on the script by 2025, and that it was in very early stages, but the film was deprioritized when Nogueira began working on the Wonder Woman film instead. So there you go. As far as like other films she's done, it's pretty much nothing I've ever heard of, and I doubt you've heard of them either. So, right, and just doing some television stuff. So, but yeah, she's writing the script for this and 2 other films. So, seems like James Gunn likes what he sees out of her, and he's trusting her to do a Wonder Woman film. So, but
which I prefer a woman to write and direct the Wonder Woman joint, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree. No, I wholeheartedly agree. But that's Supergirl. And then lastly is films coming out for the DC Universe is Clayface, which is I guess DC's first horror film. Or I guess, their first foray into horror. It's going to be a body horror film. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be directed by a fellow named James Watkins, who did a horror movie. It was actually a horror movie reboot last year. It was Speak No Evil. It was with James McAvoy. That was actually pretty good. Other films he's done, Eden Lake, which I haven't seen, but I heard is actually pretty good. The Woman in Black and Bastille Day. And then, so he actually has a pretty good resume. And Mike Flanagan, who I don't know if you've heard that name. He has a pretty extensive horror resume behind him. He'll be producing and writing the script.
That's good.
For this movie, as well as a...
Wait a minute, isn't it already completed?
Yeah.
Okay.
They actually already wrapped filming.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Another fellow be writing the script is a fellow Iranian, Hossein Amini. He'll be writing the script with Mr. Flanagan. His writing credits include Jude, Wings of the Dove, Four Feathers. He was actually a uncredited writer for Gangs of New York. Drive, which I actually like Drive. It was a good movie. Snow White and the Huntsman, 47 Ronin. and a few other things that I'm not familiar with. So, pretty
Some reputable films in there.
yeah, for a Clayface movie, for a movie that if they're going the route I think they're going, we might be seeing Batman at the end of this film as like a post-credit scene.
We kind of have to. Like, I don't want DC to make the mistakes that Marvel made. Well, Sony made with some of these villains. You know,
I agree.
I don't need that.
No, so far it looks like DC's kind of doing right by the villains because you'll get Penguin, where they did do the route of like, oh, here's why, but he's still a piece of shit by at the end of the day. So they did a great job
No,
with that.
no, but they did a good job with making the character interesting without Batman to the point where Batman didn't need to be involved in this.
Right.
They had layers for this character, whereas the Sony movies, the villain movies, those things are shits, man, and there's just no meat on the bone for those guys to have their own movies without Spider-Man being involved. Whereas Penguin is such a complex character. That's one thing again, being a complex character and having a lot of layers that were planted in the Batman movie itself, and we're continuing those layers here. Meanwhile, getting a back bed read about how he came to be as a person, and then just us just winding up hating him all over again. Like it was just a lot of meat there on that bone, so to speak.
No,
but I don't want them to get into the habit of making all these villain stuff, with no villain to get no hero or something to combat them. I don't want that. I don't want James Gunn and those guys to start making that a habit either.
No, I agree. Like I think with James Gunn, I trust the process.
Yeah, and I think Clayface is interesting enough where you can get away with doing him by himself without Batman being involved, because there's a lot of elements going on there, and Clayface also has powers. And body horror. I mean, I just saw that movie, The Substance.
Ooh.
That was the most disturbing thing I've ever seen in my life. And it made me go, oh, God, I will never be, it's one of those prices you pay for trying to really, really alter yourself when there's no need to be altered. That lady let one man's opinion, really, for the most part, really ruin her life. And it's the cautionary tale, but like there's a lot of layers to that, that spell of disturbance, that made that movie kind of worth watching, and you go, oh my God. So I hope that is something. I'm not saying that I want Clayface to be like that movie, but if they took certain elements from that movie and enhanced it here, I think we got a banger on our hands. And I think it's something we could have without having Batman, is what I'm trying to get to.
No, I wholeheartedly agree with you. It's going to be set in the DCU. It's going to come out September 11th, which is weird.
Oh my God.
It's weird. The actors in this film I've never heard of, but I like the fact that I don't know who they are because I can get lost in the performance.
And it's a chance for those guys to break out, guys and girls, whoever's involved, and it's a chance for them to break out and become stars, because we need new stars. We need new people to help push the gate open in Hollywood. I mean, things are too tight cast and tight nipped. We need to have more than that.
Exactly. So the character of Matt Hagen / Clayface will be played by an actor named Tom Rice Harris. Again, no clue who that is. I'm looking at his body of work, and I've never heard of anything that he's been in. But again, I like the fact that he's someone that I'm not familiar with, so that way I can see the character and not the actor. Naomi Ackie. I've seen her in things. She's come out in a few things I've seen. She'll be playing the love interest, Dr. Caitlin Bates. An actor by the name of Max Minghella will be playing a Gotham City police detective who's dating Bates. I think I've seen him in something before. I'm not 100% sure, but he'll be in the movie. And an actor named Eddie Marsan, that's an actor I've seen. He'll be
Mr. Possible, and he was in Hancock too.
Yeah, so
yeah, he's been around.
But Yeah, those are all the movies for DC. I kind of want to get into one more thing, and again, this isn't really like news. This is more just like, I guess, a discussion. So we just talked about Batman, the DCU. So I'm just gonna give you a list of names that have either petitioned to be Batman or the fans want them to play Batman, and you just kind of give me your opinion on who you think is the better fit and who you think is not really the better fit. Basically, just kind of give me the first thing that pops up in your head, essentially. So I just typed in Google Gemini and actors that the fans want as DCU and James Gunn's universe. So the top fan contenders are Alan Richardson, who's the star of Reacher. He's kind of the one that I think the fans want the most because if you ever watched Reacher, it's basically Batman but without the money or the utility belt. And he's one that's been very vocal about wanting to play Batman.
Yeah,
he just recently said that he's currently in talks with DC to play a more messier role. So I don't know what that entails, but when you think Alan Richardson, what do you think?
He's got a look, but it ain't too big to be Batman. Like as far as like just like really jacked and shit,
That's kind of
that guy's a unit. I don't need Batman to be that much of a unit. If they're going for more of a cartoony, physical look, he would be perfect for it. It depends on what James Gunn is looking for. Is he going for a fantastical look? Because I mean, he definitely would fit that physique wise. But yeah, I mean, he would look like he would eat David Cornsweet alive, though.
I think they're about the same height.
No, I'm talking about like physically. This guy at Mr. Adam there, he's a fucking unit. Jeez. That guy is a unit.
Yeah, like
if you put a Batman costume on him and stand him next to David Cornsweet, he's gonna look like he should eat him alive.
Yeah, that's kind of the big problem. Is like when you see Batman, you see this big motherfucker, and then you see Bruce Wayne walking down the street, and you're like, you're kind of a big dude. Are you Batman? No. Wait a minute. Yeah, you're Batman. No, I'm not.
I just exposed my gimmick. Shit.
Damn it. Fuck. I love Alan Richardson. I wouldn't mind seeing him in anything DC related. I mean, he has a past with DC. He was Aquaman on Smallville, and he was also Hawk in Titans. So, I don't know. I wouldn't mind him as Batman, but then again, it's another thing of like he's such a jacked motherfucker. So, I don't know. We'll see. It's like it's like who's going to be the Joker? Somebody jacked needs to be the Joker.
Yeah, I know, right? Otherwise, Batman should be smacking his fucking head off. I mean, that guy's jacked, bro. He's a fucking unit.
Unless they're doing absolute Batman, which that'd be kind of metal. So,
yeah.
Another name is Jensen Ackles, who's has a fan base behind him. He's Batman in the animated movies. He was also Red Hood, which is to me one of my top 3 favorites.
Yeah, I love his vocal performance. Why is this piece of garbage still alive? Yeah,
he did. Hand to the kid. He still got it.
Yeah, he did great.
Someone get a camera. No, Jensen is great. I love Jensen. I'm a supernatural mark. Him as Batman, it's one of those things of like it's the opposite of Alan because like Jensen's voice, his Batman voice and his actual voice, they're kind of the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I don't know, him as Batman I just don't think would be a good fit. To me.
I don't think so either, to be honest.
Again,
I'm with you there. Yeah, and wouldn't they want somebody that's a little bit younger to play Batman too? Yeah. So they can have him for the long haul. They got to get somebody that matches up with Cornsweet. That's just my opinion. But who else is on the docket?
Here's a name I haven't seen: Jacob Elordi, who was
don't know who that is.
Euphoria.
Never watched the episode of that show a day in my life. Not really my thing either.
He just played Frankenstein. He just played Frankenstein in that Guillermo del Toro movie. Yeah, Yeah, he's more of like an indie darling, if that's the best way to put it. But he has a look. He looks like he can be a superhero. I just don't know if he would want to be. But then again, he's also one of those like current like younger actors who said The Dark Knight was what inspired him to do acting. So, what better way to bring it all around than to play The Dark Knight?
Right.
So I don't know. Like I think if you look at a picture of him, you can maybe see like him playing a role, but him playing Batman, I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things that like I don't know. It's not because I don't think he'll do a good job. It's just I don't know. I might say that with a lot of actors where I'm like I don't know, maybe. But next is Brennan Sklenar, who's been brought up a lot. He's kind of one of those new Hollywood hunk actors. He just came out in a movie called The Drop. He's on a show called 1923, which is a spinoff of Yellowstone. And yeah, he's again one of those actors that he's been putting his name out there. Where like he's also been like promoting, like if I play Batman, I want to be able to play it like this version in the comics, and yada yada yada. So I'm like, maybe. But I don't know. How do you feel?
I haven't seen this guy either. Like a lot of these guys you listed off, I have no idea who these men are. Could you describe him a little bit? Is he younger? Is he on the younger side? Because I think that's what James Gunn needs to go with. I think he needs to go with somebody younger.
No, he's younger. I think he's like a little younger than us. He might even be like a year younger than you.
They say he's 29 years old. Well, 30 years old. I mean, if it's 30, like I think that's the perfect age, to be honest with you. Assuming he's not gonna, I don't know if Chris Nolan's, or I said Chris Nolan, Jesus Christ.
35. He's 35.
He's 35, but is he one of those 35-year-old guys that can get away with playing a late 20, early 30?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I mean, this Batman, I would like to think he's not going to do an origin story, right? He's going to kind of do it like Superman, where
I don't believe.
How many times do we need to see Martha get shot? Okay, it gets really sad after a while.
Well, yeah. James Gunn already assured that we're not doing any more origin stories. We're not seeing any more, Martha or pearls or whatever. So,
I don't need to see pearls rolling all over the street. I don't. I've had enough of it. Okay, I've seen it.
Right,
just like Uncle Ben getting shot. I don't need to see it anymore.
It needs to be more different. It obviously needs to be more different than what Pattinson's doing, because Pattinson's is more dark and more, Seven meets Batman, whereas this version needs to be more fantastical, a little bit more comic booky, which they haven't done in a while. Because, at the end of the day, it's still Batman. It's still a guy that dresses up as a bat. Like, you still need to keep that comic book, thing to it. So, again, it's just like I really don't have a dog in this fight as opposed to these actors. The only one whose work the only two whose work I'm more familiar with are Richardson and Ackles. Like Elordi, I know the name. I've seen enough of his work, but I can't really sit here and say, oh, he's my favorite. Sklenar I've only seen in two things. The rest of this list are, other actors mentioned by fans, Jake Gyllenhaal, but again, love Jake Gyllenhaal, but I think if he were Batman, all I'd see is Jake Gyllenhaal and not really Batman or Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, or people would see Mysterio too.
Right. Glenn Powell.
Especially because that wasn't too long ago either.